Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate the love on the previous video about my experience dating white men. You guys really gave me like a positive feedback, and obviously I was scared because it was my first video, and yeah, but you guys really showed me love. I appreciate, and I'm happy to do more of this story time. So as I promised, today I'm doing a story time about how I started my company at the age of 19 with no capital, with no money at all. Yeah, as I said, we're gonna need some wine, but as you know that our president Cyril has closed down, we don't have wine, we have tea. You can grab your tea and sit and relax because there's gonna be probably a long story time. I hope it's not that long though, but it's gonna be juicy. This tea tastes good. Okay, cool, let me get into it. So I'm gonna start when I was young, when I was in primary. So I was always a bright kid or a smart. I don't want to call myself like a smart kid, I don't know, but I was always like number 1 or number 2. Like, yeah, if I didn't do well, I was number 5 and I'll be so hurt. So, but my mom used to say I'm a hard worker. Yeah, because yeah, I used to work hard in order to pass, to get that number 1 or number 2. So I was always told that because I'm smart, I have to do science at school because smart people do science, and I have to be a doctor. So from a young age I was told that, no, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. But I don't know if it was really what I wanted to do, because I was like initially I was more interested in being a psychologist because I really like working with people. I love helping people. I love just seeing people's behavior and observing it and analyzing it. Yeah, that's my thing even now. If you have problems, I'm here to listen and to try and help out. So I thought I would be a psychologist, but when I got to high school, so I was told that, okay, no, you need to be an engineer, you're very smart. So it was engineer, it was a doctor. But when I was in high school, we were doing things like drama as extramural activities. We did drama, we did speech competition, we did debate, and I really like all those things. So those extramural activities made me fall in love with the entertainment industry and say, I want to be a presenter or an actress, especially the time when Backstage came in. You guys remember Backstage? Oh my god, it was everything. I think Backstage, because they were showing students, it made me want to be an actress. So that was me then. Then I remember I was very good with science. No, I was not good with science, sorry. I mean, I was very good with economics and accounting. I remember our accounting teacher telling us that, whew, you get a lot of pay, you get paid as an accountant, you can get paid 15,000 rand. I don't know if she said per hour or what, but I was like, okay, maybe I can be an accountant. But the accounting thing was not really like my passion. But I knew at some point, I think when I started watching Oprah Winfrey, I think I always reference her a lot because she's my role model. So I was like, okay, I want to be a media mogul, I want to have a business, you know, but I don't know what kind of, like, not really media mogul. I was like, I want to have a business just like her, but I don't know what kind of business. So I was very good with economics and all that. But when you get to grade 10, you had to choose whether you do science or you do like accounting and stuff. And I remember I chose accounting. So my principal and all the teachers, they were like, no, you can't do accounting. Accounting is for not smart people. You have to do science. You're very smart, you're very bright. That was the worst because I didn't know what to do, and I asked a lot of people in terms of advice, and a lot of people were just like, yeah, you need to do science. And I knew I was so bad at science, like literally I was not good with mathematics and physics and all that. So okay, I followed what people said and I did science. But I was not happy, and I just had to work hard to pass so that I don't fail, which I passed okay. And I feel like if I did accounting, I would have gotten distinction, because accounting, business, economics, those were my thing. Like I knew them, like I was so good, you know, with them. So okay, fine, I passed, and now, okay, you have to be a doctor. What? Okay. Then obviously my background, I'm not from a rich family, and they couldn't afford to like take me to medical school, but my pastor helped me to like, okay, you should go to University of Limpopo and study Bachelor of Science, and that will be like your background to like, okay, Bachelor of Science, you after that you get into a med school. All right, that was what they wanted. And besides, I was going to university. I just wanted to go to university. I remember when I was at university, the only thing that I really liked to do was to go to church every day. Yes, I was a church girl. And to do extramural activities, entered pageants. I even won, became a second princess, Miss University of Limpopo, you know, like be on a radio, like radio presenter. Like I liked like other things except school. You know, I didn't really like my whatever I was studying, because it was not my dream. It was not my passion. And I was really unhappy, to be honest. I remember when we were doing experiment, because experiment will take like the whole entire day. I will like literally be doing my makeup and having a mirror and watching myself like, oh my god, I can't wait to go. And then fine, when I was at university, I met this girl who became my friend, and she told me that she's got relatives here in Joburg and she knows there's auditions for Backstage. I was like, what? My dream of being on TV. Oh my god. Okay, I told my mom, and I was doing my 3rd year, and I just recently won the second princess Miss University of Limpopo. And I remember like going back home, telling my mom, saying, look, I really have to follow my dreams. There's auditions for Backstage. I need to go and audition. I think with my experience at school doing drama, and even in varsity doing a bit of drama, I think I have a chance. And my mom was like, I don't think I have relatives in Joburg. Where are you gonna stay and all that? And then yeah, I remember, wow, okay, so I was at my mom's work, and my mom's boss was there, and she saw all these pictures and all that, and she was so impressed, and she was like, you know what, you're gonna enter Miss South Africa. I'm gonna make sure. She's like, Johanna, okay, my mom's Johanna. She's like, Johanna, your daughter's so beautiful. We have to do something. We have to help her. We have even to write to Oprah for her to meet Oprah. She's amazing. Because she sat down with me and she asked me my dreams and all that, you know. So I was like telling her what I want to be and what I want to do. She's like, I'm gonna be 100% behind you. Johanna, call someone, a relative. I would drive her to Johannesburg. She needs to go to Johannesburg and start her life and follow her dream. I was like, what? I was so excited. And then I remember my mom's boss was driving a Mercedes-Benz. She all drove me all the way from Tzaneen to Pretoria. So my mom called some relatives that lived in Pretoria, like so far, like relatives that I don't even know. It was the first time I meet them, you know, as black people, we've got those relatives. And yeah, so I got to Pretoria, and then I was so happy. I remember my mom's boss was like, I would support you financially, just let me know every month, I'll give you money and all that. I remember even saving her on my phone as my angel. I was like, wow, this woman, she's my angel. She just saved my life. But because I was raised in a way that I couldn't ask money, or I can't ask money, like literally I never even asked her for a cent. I was so scared. Okay, and on that day obviously she gave me money, I think like 3,000 or something, I don't know, and that was a lot of money back then. But I remember I suffered. Obviously it took forever for me to reach my dreams, and I would be like hungry and I would not have money, but I'll never even call her and ask her. I actually don't understand why I didn't do that. Wow, so weird when I think about it now. So because literally I needed money, like I struggled, you know. So I got to Pretoria. I even lived with my other relatives in Olivenhoutbosch, some township there. I lived in a township. We didn't even have electricity and all that. It was so bad. We didn't even have TV, and I'm here wanting to be on TV. Wow, just like my dreams looked impossible. So okay, fine, I got to Joburg, going to auditions and all that, and there was no even audition for Backstage. I don't know, that friend of mine lied to me. But I was not gonna go back home because it's just like, okay, I joined an agency at least, and I went to audition. I think my first acting job was, there was a show called, on SABC2, a medical drama. What was it called? I forgot. Probably I'll write it here when I remember. Yeah, when I edit this video. So I acted on that show, but it was just like a small role. But acting alongside John Kani and acting alongside Bonnie Henna, she was Bonnie Henna, Bonnie Mbulina. Yeah, it was so amazing. Even her husband actually was on the show, and I was like, wow. Like looking at them, I was like starstruck. I was like, wow. So I'm like, finally my dreams are coming true. I remember I really got paid less. Yo, I bought a top though, so I can remember, like, you know. And I think I shared my money with my sister because she was everything to me when I was in varsity. She sent me money, so yeah. Then fine, I'm like going to auditions, and sometimes there's no auditions, and like months go by, there's no auditions. I'm sitting and nothing. I'm like, you know what can I do? Because wow, this thing of not going to auditions. Then I remember I connected with a friend from university, and the friend was an engineer and was living in Nelspruit. The friend asked me to come because he actually called me because he saw me on TV. He was like, oh, how's everything? Because you told me your dreams, what you want to. Because when I was at university, I used to tell everyone that I'm gonna be an actress, I'm gonna be famous, I'm gonna be on TV and stuff like that. And then he called me, he's like, yo, I saw you on TV, how's everything, blah blah. So I was like so honest with him. I'm like, look, I am not happy, I am depressed, I don't have a job, and things are not going well. You just go to auditions once in a while and I'm not getting jobs. So this guy was like, come through, let's talk, I'll help you, paid for my bus to go to Nelspruit. And when he was there, he was like, okay, what else would you want to do? Oh, he said to me, be an event coordinator, start an event management company. At that time, I was so clueless about event management. I was like, what's that? So he told me, I was like, okay, it sounds great, but you know what I know for sure, because I've been like going to audition for a year, you know. So I was like, you know what, let me just start a modeling and casting agency. Maybe I'll register it as a production company, so eventually I'll do events, because right now I don't know really events. Let me just do what I know, that's modeling and casting. He's like, perfect. So that's why I registered 2SAB production. I used to call it 2SAB productions or 2SAB models, but how it's registered is 2SAB production. But obviously this is a trading name, there's a name for it, a long Sotho name for it. So I was like, okay fine, I registered. And the guy said to me, if you don't go after your dream, if you don't make it happen and you stop this business, I'm not gonna talk to you again, I'm not gonna be your friend. And I valued our friendship. He was one of the smartest guys. Like, you know what, okay, we're friends, I don't want to disappoint him and I don't want to disappoint myself. I remember I didn't even have money to register my company. He registered the company for me. So I said to him, I'm like, I've heard that when you start a business you need a capital. I'm like, how am I gonna do, like, how's this gonna work? He's like, you are the capital. You can start a company without a capital. It's possible. You, like, your skills, that's a capital. I'm like, okay. I remember we didn't sleep the whole night writing a business plan, a 5-year business plan. Wow, things were getting serious. Wow. So I really like visualized and had to understand how I want my business to be all about and whatnot. So when I came back to Joburg, I started my business and I was hustling and printed out. I didn't even have a printer or computer. God, I had a friend or I had a relative who worked at Holland Insurance. I went to the Holland Insurance and typed everything and printed and wrote pamphlet or flyers to say I'm looking for actors, this is the number. And I went around Joburg and posted everything and around the township, and people were calling. Oh my god, I had like, what? And I'll meet people obviously at restaurant, and I'll tell them, I'll be honest, that I don't have an office. So I met this girl also in Joburg, so she had an office of some politicians. I don't remember that party, and they didn't use the office, so she's like, apparently we can use this office. So we used to use that office for a year. I used an office for free. And she had a computer. I think they even stole our computer. So we used to actually like go to the building where we were having an office. We used to on top of our office, they used to have like an internet cafe, so we'd go to the internet cafe and do the emails and stuff. Wow, I was hustling, damn. And I remember not having money for transport to go to Joburg every day in our office, and started being friends with taxi drivers. Wow, taxi drivers are not that bad, hey guys. They were very understanding, some of them, obviously not all. And I would only sit in front because I was not paying, and I'll just help with like paying, I mean calculating the money. Oh my god, okay, thank god I'm laughing now. It means I won't be crying the whole like story time, which is great. So yeah, and I remember telling the taxi driver, I'm like, one day I'm gonna be rich, and yeah, you still be my friend and whatnot. Oh, I'm so sorry I lost contact with all of them. I wish I didn't. Wow, actually they really helped me. And you know, so obviously, okay, fine. How I got into, because obviously you find clients, but you need to have business. How I got into like, okay, I have to work with this casting agents to send me auditions. I had to like Google, I had to talk to people. I remember one of my relatives, my uncle, was working at SABC as a newsreader, but with the sign newsreader thing, and he was also acting in Muvhango, yeah. And then I contacted him and I was like, okay, I need, because it was so hard to go to SABC. If you don't have an appointment with anyone at SABC, you'll never go in. So he was like, okay, come with me on set on Muvhango so you can see how it is and you can meet the casting director and all that. I remember going to that set. He was my ticket to get into SABC, and also just going, I remember after he told me where Generations office are, I went to Generations. I met the casting director. I remember his name, let me not mention, but he was rude. The first casting director that I met, and he was like, who are you? Why should I use you? I will see, just send us a profile. I remember not knowing like, what is a profile for my models? Okay, take pictures of, you know, in the reels, whatever. I had to hustle to get a photographer. I met this white guy. His name is Rich Briscoe. Most people actually were in my agency worked with him. He was amazing. He was just from photography school, and he literally was just like, okay, I'm from photography school, but I've never like gotten work. He was working a different job, and I was like, okay, work with me, I've got an agency, please. And he showed me his profile, because at school they did a profile, and I thought, wow, he's an amazing photographer. So that's when I think the photo shoot really like was a breakout for me to get jobs, for me to be noticed, for me to be branded as a business, because he was so amazing. Our pictures were amazing. I remember having on Facebook, people started like wanting to join my agency. I started getting known as like 2SAB models, and I started like scouting people even via Facebook. But at some point, obviously I had to work, because my business was not bringing money for so many years, or for a year actually, a year and a half, I don't remember, I think a year and a half. I started in, I think 2006 or 2007, that's 2007, that's why I started my modeling agency. Yeah, I started in 2007, my modeling agency. Or late 2006, 2007, yeah. And late 2007, that's where my first job of at Generations, starting to work with Generation, because that casting director was out. There was a new casting director. His name was Tulani. Obviously I'll mention him because he was very kind to me. He was very kind, and we're still friends, you know, even on Facebook. So he gave me the opportunities, like, you know, it's hard in this industry, and if you're not a known age, like casting agency, people are not going to work with you, but I'm going to give you a chance, Aldesha. Don't disappoint me, because I have to talk to these bosses and say, like, I'm hiring your agency, you know, and they don't know it. I was like, I won't disappoint. And I didn't, you know. Our first job on Generation was Ntombi's Baby. Ntombi's Baby was from our agency. So that's the first casting day. Then, I mean, like, in between doing all this thing, I remember I started to work. I work at Standard Bank because I needed to pay bills, and I needed to what do you call this, I needed to pay bills, and I needed to move out from my relatives because they were starting to be mean, and they were starting to like, oh, you're not even working. They were starting to not believing in my dreams and all that. So I was like, you know what, it's better for me to move out and have my own place. Then I moved out and I lived in Midrand at a share house, like a commune. And that was my dream, to live in a commune anywhere because of Generation. You guys, if you watch Generation, ah, man, I lived my life. Yeah, then yeah, from there, that's where I was working at the same time running my modeling agency. But I started my modeling agency before I worked. So yeah, so after that, my company really started. I think Facebook, social media has got power in terms of marketing your business. It really helped me to grow so fast. And me having like the first interview, I don't know if you guys remember Bantu Soul. That was an artist back then. I don't think he still does music, but his music is still out there. He was a friend of mine, and yeah, I think he knew me via Facebook and booked my models for, what do we call this, music video. He's the one he had relationship with, journalist. He asked one of the Sunday Sun journalists, like, oh, write a story about this lady and help her put it out. Yo, after that article, oh my god, I remember the article was like from rags to riches, as if I was rich. Oh my god. And I got so many business, like my life just changed. Obviously, I remember the guy was interviewing me. He said to me, he's like, what do you call, media can be your friend and media can be your enemy, be careful. Wow, that was true, because over the years, obviously, there were articles that were written about me and it was not true and all that, but yeah. So I started like knowing a lot of artists because I started supplying like music video girls and TV ads. So we started working with D'banj, we started working with Davido, P Squared, Mikasa, Mafiki Zolo, all these artists, you know, every artist actually in South Africa, to think about Sleeker, like, you know, who else, I don't know, back then those artists, Double HP. And for TV ads, we did for DSTV, we did for Edgar's, Audi, we did for Pep Africa, we worked with so many brands, you know. So like I could able to pay my bills, I could able to buy my first car. I remember bought my first car, I was 24, 25. Buy my first car for cash and end up like moving out, living in Sandton, able to afford an apartment. Yeah, so business was doing great and starting to do events as well. So yeah, I was just like, okay, great, I'm doing great. Obviously, until I met that person. If you watched the previous video where I didn't want to work anymore. But the nice thing about like running a modeling agency is that most of the jobs are like have royalties. So even when I was not working, obviously some were paying royalties, so which is great. I was still having like a cash flow. That's my story of how I started my company with no cent, with no capital. I was the capital. And my advice or my tips, I can give you a few tips on how to, when you want to start a business. What I've learned is that you have to believe in yourself. You have to be confident, you know, and don't give up. There was so many times I could have given up. There was so many no's. There was so many discouragement. There was so many people who didn't believe in my dreams, who didn't understand my dreams. And I'm so thankful that my mom was very supportive throughout this journey. I'm so thankful that even some of, my friends, I had great friends that were very supportive, you know. And I would say be determined, be persistent, do not give up, and you need to have a vision. You need to know what you want and what kind of business you want. You need to know your competitors. You need to know the competition in that. You need to have a niche as well. You need to go hard in marketing. You need to really knock on every door. Others would close, but others would open. And sometimes, and you need to build your brand. It's very important to build your brand, because when your brand is built, you know, people start to trust you and they start want to work with you. So yeah, you need to make sure you take great pictures. You need to make sure you have a website, you have, you know, all those things. So yeah, I'm not here to give a masterclass about business, but I hope you learned about my story. You know, I didn't get emotional, I didn't go much into details where I want to cry, but I'm so glad. Yeah, and yeah, that's my story, and I hope you become brave out there and you start the business that you want to start. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Please don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends. I'll see you guys on the next vlog.